Hi, I'm Scott Bowman, and I'm the founder and managing creative director at ProtoRobo. ProtoRobo is a new entertainment company that creates original action, sci-fi, and fantasy properties, and not just single stories or one-offs, but compelling worlds and rich frameworks to develop franchises across multiple mediums, including comics, video games, movies, and more. I'm excited to tell you about our very first project, and really appreciate you taking the time to check out our Kickstarter and video. But first, I want to take just a moment to tell you a bit about my background and what led me to form ProtoRobo. My background is in marketing as a creative director. I've worked in the video game industry for over 16 years, and I've worked for a number of top companies including Electronic Arts, Sony PlayStation, and Capcom. Prior to that, I worked in the comic book industry as a creator and worked on a number of titles for DC and Image Comics. While at Electronic Arts, I was able to bring my passion for both comics and video games together by founding and launching EA Comics in 2009. Unfortunately, due to the volatile nature of the video game industry, and EA in particular, EA cut support for the program shortly after it was announced, and it did not end up being the ongoing comic book imprint I had hoped it would be. I had always intended to introduce new original comics after the imprint was established with existing video game properties, but due to EA's change in plans, it didn't end up happening. I left EA with an unfulfilled need to create new original entertainment properties, and that's what led me to start thinking about forming a company that would eventually become ProtoRobo. Even before EA, I had a number of new properties in mind, but after getting the idea for ProtoRobo, I began thinking of one idea that quickly became the focus of nearly all my attention. It's called the OZ, and as you might have guessed, it's inspired by the original Wizard of Oz. But this isn't a sequel, prequel, remake, or reboot. It's an all-new property inspired by the characters from the original Wizard of Oz book. Put briefly, the OZ is set in the not-too-distant future, following a cataclysmic event that devastates a large portion of the U.S. Midwest. Dorothy is a young woman who's grown up in this environment, and is desperately searching for a sense of family, for belonging. She presents herself to Auntie M, who's the leader of a small, morally bankrupt clan, as a would-be assassin, and is tasked by her to take out the wizard in Emerald City, which is a kind of green zone within the OZ. Along her journey, Dorothy encounters and recruits former genetic and cybernetic patients of the wizard to help her in her mission. But first, she has to breach the walls of Emerald City, where she encounters the wizard's personal bodyguard, the witches, and this time, there's 4 of them. But before we can tell the full story, in any visual medium, we have to design the world first. The ideas for the characters are all in place, what they're looking for, how they interact with each other, how they came to be in their current situations, but we have to design the visual look for the characters and world first before we can proceed. That's where you come in. You can help give life to this world and these characters by contributing to this Kickstarter project. What we propose to build here is an art book filled with the designs for each character, from the first concepts to the final finished design. Along with the concept art, we'll include information on each character, a glimpse into their background, and a hint at what their current motivations are, as well as providing some background on the world itself and the history that led to where the story will start. We're very excited to have veteran character designer and CG Hub master artist Merritt Ars on board to create the visual designs for all of our characters. Merritt has a long history of working on AAA video games and other projects, and works in a variety of genres and styles. Links to some examples of his work are included in our Kickstarter project description. This is the chance to get in on the ground floor of a new hit entertainment franchise and use your voice to help bring it to life. If you don't, there are millions of entertainment fans who will never get to experience this world or these characters, and all the great stories we can tell within this framework. So tell your friends, family, coworkers, and get them to spread the word too. With your help, the OZ can become the next truly great entertainment franchise. Thanks again for your time and your support.